final to bring us as we're off in Week 9. That's fielded in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Now a play fake here on first down. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up second down.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays. And you don't get many opportunities to dial them up. And they just did. And they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Throwing again, Winston on 2nd and 10. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. Jameis to throw it. That's caught by the big tight end, O.J. Howard. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
Then we got to give a little tip of the cap for the defense there. Zone coverage, locked it in tight, made it really difficult because they tried the crossing route against it, and it worked for a completion, but you have to know where the sticks are on 3rd down. Didn't get beyond them, no pickup.
Here's Jones. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And the window closes quickly. He'll only get up to the 22-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
With it is Jackson. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, A 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive. He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
Throwing, Winston. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up second down.
It looked like they had something there, but I think that he was thinking about running with the football before he actually hauled it in, and that led to a big drop.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down. Winston. He's got his tight end over the middle, O.J. Howard. He's at the 30. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Oh, they hate that. Wipes out the big play.
And I know this is the NFL, so they would probably fine you for this type of a penalty. But when I was in college, you used to have to do up-downs for the number of yards that you cost a team in a big play.
They go play action here on first down. And Winston lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Second down, Winston. It's brought in by Adam Humphries. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. A very solid gain of 27. First down, Winston. And avoids the contact by sliding. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
Well, it looked like a quick hitter, a 3-step drop, but when it's not there, what do? He elects to try and escape through the massive bodies up the middle, and he does so and picks up positive yardage.
Here's Ronald Jones, first carry for the USC man, and he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give him the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. 18 yards there, and it'll be a first and goal.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they've put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
They'll try and run. This is Williams. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be second and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
Now a second down throw for Winston. Flush touchdown, Tampa Bay. Well, these guys have won 3 straight ball games and another good start to this one out to the 6-0 lead.
And I've talked with so many different coaches, as have you, along the way, and they always talk about winning streaks and the mood of a team and how much easier it is to actually prepare during that time. Guys are sharp, guys are focused, everyone's feeling good, and we're seeing it early in this one.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Out of the gun. They'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
A good pickup there at 22. Now they'll run it on the toss. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now they set up the screen. That's complete. Give them 5 on the screen play, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. They're on the march, but facing a 3rd down here. Detroit! They're going to look to throw. And that is incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
2 sides to every coin. This is the bad side of missing the 58-yarder. Now they start at the 48. On play action, Winston. That's complete. Middle of the field to Humphreys. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. He got 29 yards that time. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 23. Play action now, Winston. Buying time to his left. And it's caught. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Now Winston. And he will score. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Jameis Winston with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Buccaneers here finding a way to stretch their lead. And his kick is good. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. They'll set up to throw. He's going to let this go deep, back over the middle. Looks for Parker, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 30. And they will finally get him down as he's all the way to the 36-yard line. He was looking for Parker that time.
Okay, it's real simple to say from here, but we know that sometimes as a quarterback, you've got to know when to say when and just throw it away. Flushed out to the right, tries to make something out of nothing here, and he winds up floating one downfield. It gets intercepted.
Following the interception, Winston dancing, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Emerson Griffin. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. To throw is Winston. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Mike Evans, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead. Now the extra point. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 21-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And out now come the Vikings. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. The Vikings on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 11.
Let's go!
Fake to throw here. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
Well, that'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. Winston now. Escaping the pressure right. Oh, incomplete. The rookie had it and lost it there. And it'll be 2nd down. Pretty lucky to get the football back. Had his target out there waving the arms, saying I'm open, but maybe didn't see him quick enough.
And I know the jokes are always about defensive backs' hands. What really actually happens, you don't get many opportunities, you get over anxious, and you start to think about taking it away and going the other way instead of focusing and catching the ball.
And that'll be incomplete. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. And it's 3rd down.
Well, he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Winston. Flushed out right. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
They certainly thought they had him surrounded and probably thought they were going to get him on the ground and get the sack, but he was able to elude that. And even though he threw it incomplete downfield, if you're a defensive back, you're loving the pressure that you're seeing from your front.
Jones on the return. That'll be a 49-yard punt, 6 yards there on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back. The last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
They'll drop the throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. He's had it again, Charles. He had the pick 6 last week. Not a pick 6 here, but an interception.
It's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept the pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he had made it all the way to the end zone. This week he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
Tackle made there by the UCF man, Mike Hughes.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20. Now we're going to get a timeout. Here's we've got an injured Buccaneer. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside.
Hey, let's go, let's go.
3rd and short yardage, Winston. Out to the left there and complete to Howard. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
Here's Winston. And Evans hauls it in. Touchdown, Bucs. Mike Evans with his second TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Buccaneers here finding a way to stretch their lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. An update from a game going on in Indianapolis. And scoring yet again, the Colts extend that lead. And we'll be sure to keep an eye on that one as we go along here. They'll run it now out of the gun. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Looking to throw. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And it's a fumble, and the Buccaneers have it. Well, he did what he's known for. He made the catch, then he turned into a runner, took the contact, and coughed it up.
And all I remember as a player, when they catch the ball, when those acrobatic guys catch it, you have to make them pay sometimes. You have to put it on them, big tackle, knock the ball free, anything you can do to slow them down.
Winston now after the fumble recovery. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Here we go, even.
Working out of the gun, Winston. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The intended target was Chris Godwin. 3rd down here. You got a young quarterback, maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
Play fake. Winston rolling to his right. And now another one thrown incomplete.
Well, they're slinging it, and then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. One minute, 53 ticks left to go in this first half. More from Minneapolis after this. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off around the 27. And he'll actually lose about 7 yards on the return, but they have possession of the football on the turnover. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Winston now to throw on 1st down. Being chased out left. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. The intended receiver that time, Adam Humphries. And it's 2nd down.
Tremendous field position there and a perfect time to do exactly what they did. Take a shot at the end zone. They went for the big play, just unable to complete it.
Forced out to his left. And he gets it down to the 32. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down. The Bucs on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 8. Now a pitch out to Williams. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you've got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
All right, here we go.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. Going deep for Diggs. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at second down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on 4th.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
And this one is incomplete. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Buccaneers out on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. Tackle made that time by Vita Vea.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. He's picked off at his own 47. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
On second down, Williams. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one, maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Jameis to throw it. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Sheldon Richardson in there to drop him for a loss of 10. And it'll be 4th and long. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up. Yeah. Let's get moving, guys. I'm
kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. And they'll run it here. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
Tough day. Tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 7. Now back to throw. Steps away to his left. Looking left side. It's complete. He's got it. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to it. And they get 10 yards there and convert on 3rd. And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
Watch it now, Barney! Barney!
And they'll go on the ground. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
We got four down.
2 running plays, each lose a yard. They'll need to do much better now on 3rd and 12.
4 down, check, 4 down, set, speed, ID.
They'll look to throw. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Jason Pierre-Paul in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. The Vikings send out their punter, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. Here's Jackson. The quick feet by Jackson. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the Buccaneer offense will be set up well as they take over. On the NFL scoreboard, they are in the 3rd now in New Orleans. The gap's getting wider there. The Saints have scored again. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. They'll try to get this running game going with Williams. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. He lost 6 there on the 1st down play.
Yeah, let me puff out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
Now Jameis on 2nd down. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line.
Like how they've started the 3rd quarter here. They force a punt on the 1st drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their 2nd win coming out of the locker room. Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long. To throw, Winston. And the pressure gets to him again. Daniil Hunter in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him and keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking. But the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Now a handoff looking right. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
4 down. Alert.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And they'll be inside the red zone with a ball at the 16-yard line. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
Here's Winston. And Evans hauls it in. Touchdown, Bucs. 3 touchdown passes now in the ball game for Jameis Winston. And the Bucs capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Extra point right down the middle. And that will extend this big lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who could make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
He's got it complete to Diggs, right side. And he's out of bounds, but not before a big pickup that time on what's going to wind up being the final play of the 3rd quarter. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. And on the ground they go with the running back. And he'll snag about 5 yards down to the 32.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first.
Gone! All right, here we go.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's able to pick up the 1st down here before he goes down at the 26. Now they try the right side here. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. The Vikings on 3rd down. They're hitting it just 30%, 3 for 10. This is 3rd and 7. He'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And he's going to have his running back. It's complete. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. Some collective exhales over there on the sideline. A big pickup through the air on 4th down to bring up 1st and goal. They come out here in the eye. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
What a game this defense has played. They're pitching a shutout, so it'll be fun to watch down the stretch to see if their defensive coordinator continues to be as aggressive as he's been all game long.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal.
Let's go.
They'll set up to throw. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. In for the score. And the Vikings are able to at least knock this deficit down a bit. So they will get on the scoreboard here. Give them credit for that. Too little, too late, but no 0. Oh, you're going slow clap on me.
Not very nice, is it?
No, but they haven't been very nice on offense. It's been a struggle. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Again, it's Williams. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. 7 yards on the carry. Make it 3rd and 4 coming up. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here, stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting.
And the ball is knocked out. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. And you probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Tight is right. Watch tight. Tight is right.
They run it again with Williams. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. Anthony Barr in on the tackle.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Time for a break. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now, as he's on to kick it away. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. And now out comes Minnesota. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say,
and got his man complete. The 30, 20, 10, and somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
And when a Hail Mary is completed for a touchdown pass like that, I think any defensive coordinator just puts their face right into their hands.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, and I don't have stats in front of me. I don't have the empirical numbers that say that in recent years the Hail Mary pass has been completed more than it has been, but it feels that way, doesn't it? And I know the defenses are spending more time on it. I think the biggest mistake they make is that they play everything from behind the receiver. I think they've got to start getting people in front as well to try and knock the ball away.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They have the big cushion. Here in the final stages of this one, I don't know if there's any better feeling than being up big on the road.
There really can't be, because for a team to go on the road and win in the NFL, that's huge to begin with. But just think about all the preparation that went into it. When they first started talking about this game, leading up to it during the week, going on the road, unfamiliar city, obviously, unfamiliar hotel. No one's going to be with you once you get to the stadium. They're all going to be against you. You name it, all those things they had to deal with, they were able to conquer them and do it convincingly.
Yeah, they did it very convincingly, and now the final moments of this one. Some nifty running, but it only gets him to the 45. Tackle made by Everson Griffin.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Hey, let's get a conversion.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
So, Brandon, when this offense gathers together to watch tape for this game, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves until the coaches get upset about the play we just saw. But you know their defense is going to be, but we put a big play.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout, as he'll stop it with 13 seconds left to play. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. And now out comes Minnesota. They're down big here late. I don't know what you...
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, Coach, what do you want to call? He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Now a desperation throw deep downfield, and that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29.
4 down. Here we go now. Blue line.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. And he finds a man on a crossing route. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.